Hello, I'm Che, half of your Slip Slip sisters, and welcome to our video, or my video, of exploring our dad's stash. And so I thought it would be helpful to start off with a little bit of family history. So if you've been with us for a while, you've even watched a little bit recently of the Vlogmases, you might have picked up that we come from a long line of crafters. My mom's mom, who we call Vavi, she's a knitter, and she was the one who originally taught both of us how to knit, and Gabs definitely was better at sticking with it than I was. And then our dad's mom, who we call Grandma, she was an amazing seamstress and sewist, and so she taught my dad and my sister how to sew, and they are both excellent at that. I know how to sew. I'm not that good. I'm a very good ironer. I am an excellent ironer, and also good at sitting there with for moral support for them. And so then our dad, he sews and crochets. He also does a lot of other kind of crafty things. He's into woodworking as well. His most recent project was he made a set of dice for one of our family friends. And so dad is very crafty. Our mom is also very crafty and very encouraging of us, like using our hands and doing all those things. She's just not as into like all the fiber crafts and those kinds of things. But throughout the whole family, arts and crafts have always been encouraged. And as we talked about, we have a whole craft house. So lots of different supplies and objects for that. But the whole point of this video is that our dad is also a crocheter. He's helping me crochet some of my projects right now. We're trying to get him into knitting. He kind of knows how, but he doesn't really like it that much. Though Gabs and I both think he would be happier if he got back into knitting. But, you know, I don't know how you all do, try to convince your parents into things, but probably just as well as they do try to convince us into things. So all that's to say is that we are very crafty. And so our Uncle Anthony, who we've talked about maybe a couple of times, probably on the podcast and things like that. So Anthony is our uncle, and he is our mom's brother. When he learned of all of our kind of yarny habits, he started every time we do a gift, so Christmas and our birthdays, gifting us yarn. And it's mostly destination yarn, because that's who we told him was one of our favorite dyers, and she still is. And I think he also, Anthony is really into like eclectic things, so I think he also likes like seeing the different colors and like where they're coming from. And so both my sister and my dad, as well as myself, get yarn for most of our gifts, or for our gifts nowadays. Dad, though, is not as active with his making. We were talking last night that he doesn't like to make something unless there's a very specific purpose. So like, he's happy to help me with my lion because I need it for my students. He's happy to help us with the Heidi Bears because it's for my Esther Diaz. So like, it's not even just the purpose is to make the project. The purpose must be like, this is the project and here's what we're doing with it. So all that's to say is that usually dad won't work on many projects unless one of us has kind of roped him into it. So he has a lot of yarn sitting in his stash because Anthony very generously will give us anywhere from 2 to 4 skeins of yarn. So there's a lot of untapped potential in my dad's stash. And also like he's bought stuff too, because he'll go with us to the yarn shows, the fiber shows, the festivals and stuff like that, and maybe pick some things up. I was really into making hats for a while. So he used some of it, but a lot of it is untapped. So like we were saying, I think in one of the Vlogmases where we're answering the questions, you've got a whole stash of like acrylic yarns, like the Red Heart Super Savers, the Big Twist, those kinds of things. That's what we use for our Heidi Bears stuff. And so that I'm not going to show. I kind of showed it a little bit on yesterday's vlog, which was Vlogmas Day 21, if you wanted to see that. He also has some partials, but for today's video, what I'm going to focus on is the completely unused indie dyed yarn that are full intact skeins, and kind of just go through what all of those are and maybe just give my kind of reactions to them because I don't even know what's in there. So very excited to take a deep dive into that. And if you have any ideas for projects that you would want to suggest for us, we always love to hear suggestions and learn about new patterns. So we are gonna go tap into Dad's stash. All right, so I've essentially got 2 piles, I think. They're a little bit mixed, but they basically came out of the cubbies that Dad has in the cabinets behind here with these super fly kind of like barn door thingers. And it looked like he had himself kind of organized between yarn he's gotten as a gift versus yarn that he got, maybe purchased himself or got from one of us. Hold on, it looks like the dog has to go out. Okay, we're back. So we're gonna start with the smaller of the cubbies just to kind of see what Dad's got going on. So actually I lied. These I know he definitely got as a gift. So he has 3 skeins of Loft. It's the American Targhee Columbia wool from Brooklyn Tweed. It's fingering, and this one's called Cast Iron. I've used this yarn before. I actually made a sweater. It was my first sweater ever, called the Spellman sweater, and actually Mom wore it last night to see Derek Huff. I will say, like, it's a really beautiful yarn. It's very rustic. As a garment, it can be very scratchy. So definitely something to keep in mind if you like that vibe, then I think this is a good one for you. No idea what Dad's gonna make with this. He also seems to have some cotton. This is probably from a baby blanket he was making just from Knit Picks. He's got some Cotton DK weight bare yarn. All right, ooh, now that I've got my germs all over my dad's yarn. This I got for him. This is breaking yarn. I don't know where the label went. It's called Jesse Pinkman? Pink something? Oh, Gabs will know. So this is something that I've gotten for him. I might steal it back from him though, maybe to do something that's like intentional with the pooling and things like that. I have no idea where he got this. Maybe he won it. It's Gabriella Makes, and the color is red. It's another fingering weight. Dad loves red and black. You're gonna see that, I think, as a theme here. So his favorite colors are like red, black, yellow, those smoky grays. So definitely a theme here, because he's also got some Jill Draper Makes stuff. This is fun. Wow, it's a lot. It's 500 yards, and it's called Heritage Tomato. That's pretty fun. Oh, I know Dad was really obsessed with this during the pandemic. He made himself a hat out of the, I believe, the worsted weight. So this is Queen's Yarn Boutique, and the colorway is called Koi. Dad definitely has an affinity towards the koi fish and like the legend of the koi fish. He's got a full arm tattoo. He actually just made for his birthday, we do a tradition with the 1001 paper cranes, and he makes it into design. He made a koi fish for his last one, so definitely an affinity towards that. That's a classic Dad. Oh, and then one day we discovered Arcane Fiberworks, and I think my dad, like myself, are really drawn by a good picture. So we found some of their dyeing, and I think he just loved the colors of this. So he's got 2 skeins of Flickering Flame. You'll see more Arcane Fiberworks come through. And I believe he was making or doing a crochet along, because he's got 3 Expression Fiber Arts skeins, this nice kind of gray color. What is it called? Let's look. And it's, yeah, fingering weight. It's called Nimbus. So that's nice. Probably would really be really good for joining for a blanket or holding double. I might have to borrow this from him. And by borrow, I mean use and not give back to him. And okay, this I'm pretty sure we bought at one of the Stitches conventions. when it was still happening. These are from a neighborhood fiber company. One is called, the green is called Logan Circle. And this kind of like, it's like a brownie, but more maroony. It's called Ramblewood. They are single ply though, so neither Gabs or I really like single ply. These might just be his forever. And then he's also got some lace. I don't know why Dad has lace. I feel like we like convinced him into something. But this is BFL, BFF, Blue Face Light. I'll let you read that. BFL base lace weight, and the color is ice. It's Creative You. Don't know why Dad has this. And we're back. We actually have 2 of the koi yarn. So this is 2 fingering weight skeins of that. What is he doing with all of this single ply? Because he's also got this. Oh, I think I bought this for him. Whoopsie. It's from It Haynes House Fibers, and it's the colorway is from Godzilla. So it's Godzilla Rodan, is it? And I think I bought this for him because I know he likes Godzilla. And we've also got, ooh, more lace. What the heck is he doing with all this lace? This is from Hanalei hand-dyed yarn. So this is in, I think they're out of Kauai, no? But yeah, he's got lace here. Again, maybe he was gonna make something with these together. I mean, they look really cute, but who knows? If anyone's got ideas for what to use with your lace weight yarn, let us know. And so that was the entire bin that was like, looks like stuff that he's purchased mostly for himself, perhaps for intentional projects or just because he simply liked the yarn, which raise your hand if you've ever done that. The next section is going to be things I think that, I know some of these he's purchased, but I think this is mostly things that have been gifted from Anthony, but we're going to pause because I need to blow my nose. Okay, settle in on this one because now this is the big part. So we're gonna start with the 3 that I know he actually bought for himself, or the ones he actually bought for himself. So these, nope, 2 he bought. Whoops. So these I know he bought at we went to one of the stitches. This is from Honey Girl Farms. And this was Jacob Kowalski from the Fantastic Beasts movie. And we each got, I think, some of these skeins. And so this is Dad's that he has. I'm actually going to put, maybe I'll rearrange his yarn for him. He's not going to be able to tell. Okay, and now I think we're going into the gifts section. So he's got this super fun DK set that I think my sister gave him from Bay Farm Dye House, which is local to us. So I think they're out of Alameda. Yes, and Alameda is like 20 minutes that way. I used to work in Alameda, so always fun to support a local dyer. But these, like, this is Dad's colors. Like, if anything could represent our dad, it's this right here. So those are super fun. Okay. Okay, he's also got, I think these might also have been from my sister. So no, oh no, he bought these. He bought these during one of the yarn crawls. And so this is Forbidden Fiber Company. He bought this off of the Yarn Over truck when she was still doing that. And it's called Stuck in Traffic. So it was an LA themed colorway. And so I might need to have this since this is like my life. And I feel like I'm always stuck in traffic. We're gonna have to pause again because I gotta let the dog back in. All right, there she is, the beauty that she is. This is now the video of many, many interruptions. Okay, so our next section, there's essentially everything is going to be destination yarn except for a few things. So I think we'll do the other things first. So I don't know what Dad was doing, but he also has more single ply. And this one is from a Whimsical Wood yarn company. We love her. I think she's hilarious because her yarn, her colorway names always have something a little snarky on that, and it's kind of our personality. And I don't know why Dad bought single ply. He hates us. or I guess it was for himself, but this one is called That Was Totally Uncalled For. And so this is fully within Dad's color scheme here. I'm gonna kind of shift this pile down. And then, ooh, crinkling. Okay, so a while ago, oh, I've lost one. It's on the ground. All right. So a while ago, Gabs and I had the opportunity to collaborate with Kimber of Kimber's Cozy Creations to create our own colorway, which was an absolute dream come true. It's actually what I'm using for my Advent blanket this year. If you've been following along on Vlogmas, it's called Purpinkle. And of course, our father is absolutely supportive of everything that we do. So when we told him we did this, he also supported and bought some of the yarn. And so he bought all of the main skeins of the different collections. So this middle one with the speckles is Purpinkle, because both Gabs loves purple, I love pink. So together we are Purpinkle. And then Kimber also created these beautiful tonals to go along with it. This one is called Very Violet, and this one is called Tinkled Pink, which represents both of us. And so Dad has these because he is a very supportive dad. So that's also in the collection of things that we've got going on. Okay. And now I believe we have hit the Destination Yarn collection that Dad, I'm pretty confident every single one of these skeins that he has here has been a gift to him from Anthony. And I've lied because I see one more that I know he bought for himself that is not Destination Yarn, which I fully want to steal from him because I love this. This is like, I must have it. I want to have it from my dad. It's so pretty. Hold on, the skein's coming out. Fix that. Gorgeous. And he told me he bought it because I asked him. He bought it because he liked the picture that was used as the inspo, because I think it was cherry blossoms, which makes sense because it's called Under the Flower. So I love this. I may have to have it from my father if he doesn't want it, because this is gorgeous. Okay. All right. Now that I've baited you into this multiple times, we are in the Destination Yarn section. So some of it is in bags. I'm not going to take it out because it's much easier to keep it organized that way. So forgive any crinkling that does happen. But okay, so our first two that he's got, these are fun. Red Velvet, also perfect. So most of these are actually going to be first class silk because Anthony is fancy and only buys us fancy stuff. So we've got Red Velvet, which I think was, did she do a dessert collection or was it like part of maybe the hometown collection? This one I also kind of love. It's called Fall at the Lake. Those are really pretty, kind of like rustic colors, which makes sense given the theme. And then we've also got, some like random singles in here, I think. Okay, these two go together. And this one is called Holiday River Parade. Also super fun. A really nice, like very dad holiday. So like these darker colors, but also with a little bit of like the festive red and green. This one's actually on postcard, which is interesting. Maybe he bought those himself. And he's got this one, which is her California collection. I know for sure. This is Coastal Fog that we've used before. I think Gabs has used it for something, or at least she owns it. I think that might be it. And then, ooh, what's this one? This one is also very pretty. Some nice blues. It's called Stars at Night. I really like that. It does kind of, it might be based on Starry Night, and I could just be silly and not know that, but it does remind me of Starry Night. And then this one I know is part of her, like, I think it was like a hometown collection. It was like ice cream shop, coffee shop, because I had these colors and made stuff from them. But this one is Coffee Shop, which I think is super fun. And I love the like red that comes through there. And then I still really like this because I did have it myself. This one is Ice Cream Shop, which I think is so pretty. These are absolute Chailey colors as well. And then, ooh, evidently Anthony I must think that Dad is kind of in a blue kick because we've got more blues. This one is called Wild Blue, which I think is also really pretty and really nice. I think would be perfect for joining for a blanket. Is this also wild blue? No, I think this one's different, right? These are not, are they the same? Now I have to open it. Nope. Nope, these are totally different. So this one is called Cobalt. And then he also has Wild Blue. So we've got a lot of blue options, apparently. And then this one, oh, I think is really nice. This one's called Tokyo. So this was really pretty. Also very kind of like those warm, but kind of dark and moody colors. And then finally, we've got this one, which is a quintessential dad called Mordor. So I think that's from her Tolkien collection. So that's all of Dad's unused, mostly fingering weight. It's not, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure everything except for the sock set. And maybe the cotton was, those two were DK, but I think everything was fingering weight, unused skeins that we've got going on. I definitely have some ideas for what to do with some of my dad's skeins here, and he's pretty generous and willing to share with his girls, because also his perspective is like, if I'm not going to use it, somebody should. So we'll see. And with Christmas around the corner, I think that this collection could only grow. So we will see what happens. Hopefully Dad can break the news to Anthony that like maybe we need to chill on the yarn a little bit so he can or at least we can try and work down his stash. But again, if you have any suggestions for patterns, things that you're like, oh, I think this pattern would look really great in that yarn, especially if it's crochet, we might be able to convince Dad into it. So thank you for taking a look with me into Dad's stash, and we will see you next time.